Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Impact and this show which was dubbed Revenge. I don't know how to explain this. I'm going to go through all the stuff that I liked and disliked, and I'm going to say my feelings about this show and TNA in general right now. Because there's something I may want to start. I'm not really big on social media, but I may consider doing it. The first thing, 6 sides of steel between Jeff and the Eli. Now, I don't know if this is his last match. I believe it was his last match. I could be wrong. But this was, if it was a damn good match. I did enjoy the match. That swanton off the top of that steel cage onto... Oh man, I'm hoping Eric Young was fine. I know I did hear Eric Young talking to Andre Colville on the phone in his car, but I'm hoping he didn't hurt himself when he did that, because that was an incredibly high height for someone to jump on somebody like that. But the interaction between all three of them, and that's Bram interacting with Jeff and Jeff interacting with Eli, it wasn't a bad match. And if it was his last match, it wasn't a bad match for Eric Young to leave. I know a lot of people don't want to see him leave, but I said it before and I'll say it again. These guys need to go off on their own eventually. They need to go and expand and get a better brand for themselves, so when they ever do return, they'll be much more stronger and bring people with them. The backstage segment with Matt was actually as good as well. But what does Matt now do? And that's kind of a question here, because I don't know where he's going to go from here. And since he's one of the more popular people, I'm hoping they don't leave him somewhere silly. Now, I'm going directly into the knockouts. I want to get this done because this makes me happy, but it's also making me sad. The backstage between Dixie, Maria, and Gail, was it alright? It was okay. Gail can talk alright. Maria's the better talk of all three of them, and Dixie's like, she's not good as a face. She botches less when she acts really like a mean bitch. That is the truth. That's how she really is in real life. It looks like it. She just is a better acting bitch in real life. That's why I wish she would do it more often. But when it came to the match, did I care about it? Yes, I did, because I was hoping that Jade would win this. I didn't want to see Madison Rayne win this. I definitely didn't want to see Gail Kim keep the title. And with the side effect of Jade winning the title, and there is a side effect to this, Jade did win. That gorgeous woman, oh, if she was my girlfriend, I would never need to look at another woman, because she's just absolutely adorable. She is a gorgeous looking woman. Oh, and I'm not the type that 100% cares about a woman with huge breasts. I can be with a woman with small breasts, and she got enough for me. She has a gorgeous face that has a nice attitude. She's sweet. I'll be happy the rest of my life with her. But taking away from my own personal preference of any woman I can, if I was given, ergo, a woman. Sorry, I had to joke around. Look, the reason I'm joking is because of the side effect of this. Because this is perpetuating the feud between Gail Kim and Maria. And my fear is that Jade will be lost in the shuffle of this. This should be about Jade's moment. But they emphasize more about the Maria having to deal with Gail Kim later. Jade is a good talent. She should be focused on. Why didn't she have different music when she came to the ring? Why is she still being considered part of the dollhouse? She should be completely removed from the dollhouse. I'm hoping that now, between her, Marty Bell, and Rebel, that's her feud. Let that be her feud where she has a break away from the dollhouse and be her. Let that be for next week. And I will be alright with that. If they don't do nothing with her, this was totally, completely stupid. And seeing that Maria and Gail are being spotlighted more than her makes me fearful they're going to do that. I'm hoping I'm wrong. The EC3 segment, after his beatdown when he was dealing with the situation I'll be talking about later. And that was about Mike Bennett. Felt a little... Actually, no, I shouldn't be talking about this now because it's going to make me very angry. I'm leaving that. I'm leaving it. I'm going to talk about Drew, and I'm going to talk about Matt Hardy. I'm doing that now. I'm getting it over with because my focus is on what really pissed me off about this show, and it shows me there's a serious problem. I'm going to move on to this. Was that little segment in the ring with JB okay? Yeah, it was. Seeing Remy always makes me feel good because she's a good-looking woman with nice boobs. I'm going back to boobs, I'm sorry. But taking it for what it was, that was a good segment. Seeing that Drew did what a lot of people have been considering, what I've said, that Remy with Maxwell there is not one of the wisest things to do. I understand one of the reasons why Matt Hardy and Remy are actually doing this. They want to have their child with them all the time. They don't want to have that child given to a nanny or a relative. They want the child on the road with them. Or at least be with them when they have to go to the impact zone in Orlando, Florida. So they're keeping their child with them. So they don't have to worry about someone taking care of the child. And the kid seems to be very calm about this, even though there's a lot of noise. So that shows the kid is going to be very good around a lot of people. But still, Drew brought up what a lot of people have been thinking. They're using their own kid as a freaking prop. And not all the time people like that. It would be better that Remy and Matt not bring Maxwell into the situation. I would rather not see Matt bring Maxwell into this. I'm honest here. I mean, as a man who had a child, hopefully mine, and I believe he is mine, I would never want to put my son in that type of situation. And I don't like seeing this with someone else's kid. It's not something that's totally comfortable for me. I understand why they're doing it, and I respect it to a certain extent, but it's not comfortable for me. And when Drew, it felt like a shoot with him, even though it probably wasn't work, it made sense. So when it came to the match itself, and I'm going straight to that match, you wonder if Tyrus was going to actually cash in his Bound for Gold opportunity. I actually thought, oh shit, Tyrus is going to cash in. This actually would be very interesting to see Tyrus actually going for a title. But they didn't pull the trigger on it. They didn't feel like it was worth doing it because Drew is a good champion. Do I feel like it's fair? No. I'm going to say this honestly. I really feel like when it came to Tyrus, when he first came in, he had great momentum behind him as Brodus Clay. A lot of people thought that he could do something special. And he's been basically put into a stereotype of a big guy who's a bouncer or a guard or basically a bodyguard. And I feel like he can do more with that. And seeing that he had an opportunity to consider, and maybe they may pull the trigger later in the year, it kind of upsets me, but it actually makes me very interested to see him actually get that trigger pulled. I would like to see what would happen if the people saw Tyrus as a champ. I don't care if he's a heel. I'd rather see him as a heel champ than a face champ. I don't want to see him as the Funkasaurus again. As a heel champ, it might actually be interesting as a transitional championship position. He's not going to be a main eventer. He's just going to be transitional. So don't think I'm saying that he's the best since sliced bread. He needs a lot of work, and he will be a good transitional champion for a couple of months. 2 months. Maybe a month. At least. But in the end, after Jeff came out to stop him, we got Drew winning. Was it good? It was alright. I didn't have a problem with it. So I'm going to go for what it was. Drew had a good rub. He had some good stuff done. And I'm going to go right there. Now the things that kind of feel a little weird. The segment of Al Snow. What the hell? He's getting basically sent home for a week with no pay. And he's got to apologize. Probably next week. And probably Guido will come back by then with a hurt arm. Why, TNA? Why are you pushing Guido when a lot of people are not 100% behind him? Yeah, they like his music. And to a certain extent, but he's not a top star or top talent. He's barely Xdivision. And I don't want to see him like that. And that reminds me what happened with Gregory Helms, what happened with Trevor Lee, and what happened with Eddie Edwards. What the fuck was that with Trevor Lee? Nothing for him. Again, I feel sorry for Trevor. He's doing absolutely nothing. Now, when it came to Gregory Helms and Eddie Edwards, they actually had a good segment. And then Beer Money comes out to protect Eddie Edwards because he's about to get his ass handed to him because Davey Richards isn't there. But now hearing that next week we're going to have a free-for-all, that means all what little teams they have are going to be going for that title, kind of tells me that that might be the last match for Robert Roode. If I'm wrong, I'm cool with that. I always love Robert Roode. He's a great talent. And as I said for Eli, it's alright. Let him go and prove his craft, be known around the world. Look at AJ. Now he's getting an opportunity at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You never know what could happen. Let these guys go off, become more known, make TNA look better. Look what they're doing with TNA. The AJ collection. They're going to make some good money off of that mess. Come on. But anyway, let's get to the segment I believe needs to be talked about. The Pope versus Lashley. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm angry. This felt like Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. Now, I said in my WrestleMania review that wasn't a bad match, but I felt that Dean Ambrose should have won that. But I've seen other people's reviews. It sucked, that match. And I'm not saying the match was good. Like I said, it felt like a no-holds-barred match. It didn't feel like a freaking street fight. That's what I said in my WrestleMania review. And this kind of feels the same way. It was not a street fight. This felt like, what, a no-holds-barred match. Even though JB tried to hype it up as a street fight and Josh tried to make it a street fight, it was not a street fight. And that brought this down. They have a sleeper hit on their hand with the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro. People love the Pope. People want to see the Pope get his hands on Lashley and beat his ass. But this wasn't about the Pope, and this wasn't about Lashley. This is about Mike Bennett and EC3 and their real street fight. Oh my gosh. We saw a real street fight right after this inept street fight. This makes me incredibly angry. Breathe. I am incredibly angry at TNA right now. They have two feuds. Mike Bennett is not a bad thing to do with EC3. It'll help Mike get over. It'll give EC3 something to do until the time that something can be sorted out with Drew Galloway. Maybe turn him heel eventually. So EC3 can go after that title as a face. There's no problem with that. But when it comes down to it, seeing this street fight after a sanctioned street fight is bullshit. This is bullshit, and I'm going to call it bullshit for what it is. That fight was way better than the Pope and Lashley's. And even though that the Pope and Lashley's probably not over yet, and maybe we'll probably get something way better than what we got this time, it doesn't change the fact that TNA fucked these guys over. And that kind of leads me to the end of my review and what I'm thinking about. What I said in the very beginning of this review is considering something that needs to be done. TNA has a situation where they seem to try and try to pile a huge amount of stuff into a 2-hour show, and they can't do it. Their writers are not doing very well. They just cannot do it. So I said in my last Impact review, why not put the Xdivision on Xplosion? Why not do that? Why not put some of the more minor feuds towards Xplosion? Reorientate Xplosion as a B show like SmackDown. Now, they do other matches on Xplosion from the last time I ever saw it, and they do kind of recap what happened on TNA Impact. Why not move the Xdivision to Xplosion? Why not move matches that or feuds to Xplosion that you know won't have enough time to be featured? Why not throw the knockouts onto Xplosion and periodically go back and forth between Xplosion as well as Impact? Why not do that? Put the Xdivision on Xplosion exclusively so people who love the... Calm yourself. Slow your roll. I want to see Trevor Lee defend his title. I want to see Trevor Lee talk. I want to see Trevor Lee do something with that freaking belt. If you need a second title on Xplosion, put the King of the Mountain title there. Do something, TNA. For people who have Twitter, I don't have Twitter. For people who have Twitter, why don't do the hashtag Xdivision for Xplosion? Why not say it? Why not say that the Xdivision should go directly to Xplosion and work there? Because when it comes to Impact, they have no time for them. Look at Gregory Helms. He's not even trying to spotlight the Xdivision. Nothing happened with him. That was all about the TNA tag team belts. That wasn't about the Xdivision. There was no match for the Xdivision. So put the Xdivision on Xplosion. Sometimes show the knockouts on Xplosion. Hell, sometimes show the King of the Mountain title on Xplosion. If you don't have enough room for all those belts, put 2 on Xplosion exclusively. Put 2 on Impact. And whenever you do any type of pay-per-view, put all 4 together in there. So then there would be something for everyone. TNA, hashtag Xdivision for Xplosion. This is my review of TNA Impact, and I hope you enjoyed the Zane's view. Please give me a comment below. My next video for the Usos should come out. That should be the last one in the series. I'm not sure when I'm going to do another Booking the Wrestler. I need to work out what I want to do next, because I did think of doing Cesaro, but then I'm thinking, who else deserves something? I could redo Bray Wyatt. I have considered doing Sting exclusively. That's the one I have been considering along with The Undertaker. Because I did Undertaker with John Cena. But maybe it's time to do Undertaker, it's time to do Sting. I don't know yet. Give me an idea in the comments below. What is my next Booking the Wrestler? Have a good day and have a good night. Peace!